Website mavericksbeef.com or check out the restaurant on Lexington in Roseville.
We know you value buying local, especially when it comes to your magical supplies. So if you're looking for grimoires, decks, jewelry, candles, or herbs that are locally sourced, then come on down to Magus Books and Herbs. Curated for your ritual, ceremonial, spiritual, and spellwork needs, we've got all the tools to make your working extra. So make that prosperity ritual one that keeps on giving by visiting us at 1848 Central Avenue Northeast in Minneapolis, or visit us online at magusbooks.com.
Are you one of thousands of individuals who know you have psychic abilities but don't know how to tap into your higher self? Refined Divine is an extremely gifted psychic medium who offers classes that can help you reach your goals. Refined Divine holds classes Monday and Thursday at her 2 locations and via Zoom. Classes consist of manifestation, learning psychic abilities, shadow work, and healing trauma. Refined Divine has helped thousands, and she can help you.
This is Psychic Medium Deb. You can go to refineddivinepsychic.com.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Overnight tonight, clear with a low of 49, then sunshine Wednesday with a high of 72. Celebrate these great summer nights with a spectacular meal from an Eat Local Minnesota restaurant or food purveyor. They're perfect for any occasion. See the list of Eat Local Minnesota restaurants and food purveyors at eatlocalminnesota.com.
Portions of the following program may be pre-recorded.
The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host, guest, random reptoid, or chupacabra may not necessarily reflect those of AM 950 Radio, its affiliates, or its sponsors. Now, it's time to step into the unknown. There are things people experience but never talk about. A shadow moving in the corner, flickering of the lights, a disembodied voice. We invite you to talk with us. Share your story, share your experience, because this isn't just your story, this is our story. This is GhostBox Radio with Greg Bakun.
And this is GhostBox Radio on AM 950, where every night we talk about the paranormal, ufology, Bigfoot, and so much more. My name is Greg Bakun. Thank you very much for joining me on this Tuesday after Memorial Day. Hope everyone had a safe weekend. And once again, I wanted to thank everyone for taking part in our show Friday, who wanted us to remember their loved ones who had passed, that had been part of armed forces. I really, that was really wonderful to be able to take part in that. So thank you once again for doing that. If you're interested in hearing that, go over to ghostboxradio.com and you can hear that episode along with all the other ones that we have out there. I have to say, though, because of the last couple of weeks being kind of wonky with the amount of time that I've been on, I have to admit, because this is like the first time I've been at home by myself doing this in probably a couple of weeks, I had that moment, and all of you probably have the same thing when you haven't done something in a long time, even though you know how to do it really well. I'm looking at my computer, which is also situated in with the station, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, how do I do this? I forgot how does this work? I don't even remember what button am I supposed to push. And there is that moment of sheer panic, I think, that kind of came through there for a minute. So hopefully y'all can hear me. And I mean, I know you all can. I know we're gonna have a great night tonight. I'm really excited because there's a couple folks on here that we're going to be talking tonight, and we're just going to have a great conversation about what they do. Also going to be talking about just the paranormal in general. But first off, we have 2 guests with us tonight. We have spiritual advisor Kristina Bloom. She stands as a beacon of spiritual guidance and insight, channeling over 2 decades of experience as a psychic, medium, and conduit for the divine into her work with individuals and groups across the nation. Her journey into the realm of psychic readings and spiritual communication has not only taken her in front of diverse audiences, but it's also established her as a trusted medium through which the wisdom and guidance of spirit flows. Kristina's unique abilities to connect deeply with the unseen allows her to deliver messages with clarity and purpose, ensuring that those who seek her guidance receive the insights they need with a clarity that resonates with their soul. Her approach to psychic readings is rooted in her innate intuitive gifts, which she leverages to help others connect with their spirit guides and view their lives from a higher perspective. Kristina's guidance empowers individuals to navigate their paths with an informed heart and mind, encouraging them to choose the options best aligned with their highest good. It's this commitment to facilitating a deeper connection between individuals and their spiritual guides that has distinguished Kristina's readings as transformative experiences that extend beyond the ordinary. Kristina, welcome to GhostBox Radio.
Thank you, Greg. I'm very happy to be here.
Very happy to have you here as well. Also with you tonight from the group Cryptids, Anomalies, and Paranormal Society, we have Bobbie Rezneck Calkins, also known as Rezneck, also known as Rez. I mean, whatever you want to call him. He's a therapist and paranormal investigator, father of 7, grandfather of 6, enrolled member of Stockbridge Muncie Tribe, born and raised in Chicagoland area, now hails from Stockbridge Muncie Indian Reservation. He spends his days running small businesses and his nights doing ink therapy and studying all things paranormal, all along the while trying to better understand and control his natural gifts. Over the years, he's experienced the paranormal on several occasions, everything from living in haunted houses as a child to seeing shadow people at church to his most recent experiences of the passing of his next door neighbor. Rez, welcome to GhostBox Radio.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here tonight.
Oh, it's great to have you both on. And I just want to remind everybody, if you have any questions for them, especially as we get going in the conversation, please go ahead and put them into the comments. And I can already see some folks in here who know you. Like Jenny says that she had a reading with Rez a few weeks back and he was dead on. So that's always nice to hear, I'm assuming, right?
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to hear the opposite in those situations, do you?
Right.
You're just like, no, of course not. So, first of all, and Kristina, you and I have been friends on Facebook for a long time, but
years,
and we didn't actually meet until we were both over at the Soul and Synergy event in Brainerd back in April. Right. And you're on the circuit, aren't you? You're traveling every weekend basically, aren't
you? Pretty much. Yeah, except for this past weekend, but Memorial Day, nobody does events on the Memorial Day, so yeah.
No. Now, I mean, what kind of toll does that take? I mean, because you both are kind of doing that, aren't you? You both are pretty active. I mean, I do my fair share too, but I'm curious because a lot of stuff I'm kind of keeping just around, keeping around the Minnesota area. You're traveling, through states. Kristina, how does that affect you? Are you enjoying that?
I love it. I actually thrive on it. I love going places, meeting people. In fact, I've just branched into Minnesota in about the last year or so. I've always been I started out in Wisconsin, then I went West Coast, and mostly I've been going East Coast. But yeah, I'm really branching out into like Michigan, Iowa, Minnesota.
You were just in Mankato, weren't you?
Mm-hmm.
That's my old stomping grounds. I used to work at the TV station over there. My first job out of school was, and when you're working at a small town TV station, you do everything. So within the first 2 months, I was directing the newscasts out there. So it's just like, well, okay, I'll press this button, see what happens. So yeah. Now, Rez, same with you. You travel quite a bit, don't you?
Yep. Yeah. If I'm not on the road doing investigations with the team, I'm out doing events, trying to get my name out there and build the brand.
What is it that what kind of investigations are you and your team focusing on?
We do literally a little bit of everything. Mm-hmm. Anything from the odd and the weird to the paranormal to Bigfoot, Goatman, aliens, it doesn't matter. Anything underneath the umbrella we look at.
Do you have people reaching out to you who might have seen like sightings of like something in the sky that they don't quite know what it is, and hoping that maybe you and your team can come out there with some kind of clarity?
We get reports all the time on the Wisconsin Caps website from everything from, alien to Bigfoot to sightings of creatures that they have no clue what it is. So we're constantly getting reports in, and we look at them all. We try to investigate everything we can do and get out there as quick as possible.
What is it that have you seen any have you ever have any alien influence that has have personally affected you?
Not at this time, but I'm always welcoming to have that encounter.
Yeah, you got to be careful about that. It's cool though when it does happen, and I think this stuff is actually easier than what people think as far as bringing them forward and whatnot. There was Andrea Perrin, which I'm sure you know
Yep.
who I'm talking about. With originally, she was very much like all you have to do is kind of think about it and they'll come. And I'm just like, come on, that makes no sense.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's exactly what happens. I've had that happen on a number of occasions, and including through my spirit box, that I've had stuff that I can't really can account for, and it's cool. But like I said, right? I mean, with everything you all do, you have to be careful, right, Kristina?
Yeah, and actually, aliens have been known to channel through me, using me as the medium. So. I do trance channeling, and so I do channel like Pleiadians. Of course, my spirit team has my back. They're not going to let anything come through that is not of the light. So, I really have to trust my spirit team to take care of me.
I think that's something that's really important there, that I don't think a lot of people completely understand, is the idea of just because you can channel doesn't maybe always mean that you should. And what I mean by that is that I think some people do it as sort of a way to get like noticed, to get some attention, and they're doing it in a dangerous way where, like you said, Kristina, and I'm sure the same for you, Rez, you always have, you're taking precautions to make sure that you're safe, because that's the number one thing, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
It absolutely is. I don't want to bring anything home with me that's going to, first of all, I don't want to bring anybody home with me who's not supposed to come home with me, right? So we want to leave them where they are. But, I'm very careful about that. And I really have gone to great lengths to get to know my spirit guides, to develop a relationship with my spirit guides. And so I know that we trust each other. And I know, if I get a new guide that comes in, we have a discussion, because I need to know who that is and why they're there.
And why do new guides come in?
New guides generally come in when you're entering a new phase of your life, or you're learning something new, or, if you're going through like some sort of a health scare or something, a new guide will come in specific to that reason, to help you get through it. And they don't all stay, it's like a guide will come in and do what they're supposed to do, and then when their job is done, they move on to somebody else.
Absolutely. So, and that's also good to know, that, and I love the fact that you both are like, you want to have that transparency with your spirit guides and really anybody that you're working with. And that also includes the living as well, that, like you said, Kristina, people who have your back. And, Rez, I was looking at your website for your team, and, you could just tell that there's camaraderie with that team, and that seems to be very much the case with what you have going on over there.
Oh yeah, you have to, if you're going to be on a team, you have to be kind of like a family.
Yeah. And
learn to coexist, because you have to know that your team members have your back at any instance that you need them. And that's the one thing I preach a lot to those out there that are looking to get in this kind of field and stuff like that, is to find a good team, make sure you jive with them, and make sure they're reputable, that they're going to have your back no matter what happens on any given night.
What I always tell my students, because my friend Char Savoy and I teach a paranormal course that goes 6 weeks, and one thing that we always tell people who are taking it is like, look at, like basically what you just said, Rez, look at the people around you. You get to know them well enough that you can see when they're having a bad day. You can see when they were fine 2 minutes ago, something affected them now. what is that? Do you need to pull them out? Do you need to take care of them? Do you need to help them ground again? Because that is our role in that space, isn't it?
Yes, very much so. I've known my team leader for 13 years now, and I joined the team going on 3 years ago. So working with him in the past, he already knew all my little quirks and everything about me. Mm-hmm. So if something does happen, he'll see it right away. If I'm not being me, he knows, okay, we need to step out, take a break, do something.
I can imagine for you, Rez, that it would be like if you're not, I don't want to say happy, because I think it's a little bit more than just happy, but if you're just, there's probably a certain persona of you that is very kind, very generous, very, very easygoing, and if any of those start going away, you can it becomes a question then, right? Of like, what's happening here?
Yep. Yeah. I'm a big cuddly teddy bear until it comes down to somebody messing with me and my own. Yeah. So when that teddy bear goes away, then those that know me know to kind of watch out.
Absolutely. And it's so important. We're gonna take a break in a second here, but Kristina and Rez, I want to ask you both something, but Rez will probably get to your answer after the break. Bruce in the comments says, what experience, revelation were you involved with that surprised you the most? Kristina, why don't we go with you first? I mean,
there are so many. Let's go with, I did an investigation with my former team on the West Coast, and it was a location of a mass murder. And having the murderer, who was also on the other side, come through, and she blew, I don't know how to say it, but like she screamed in my face. And even though she was a ghost, I could feel like the spit hitting my face.
Sure.
It was just that much. And I got really sick from it. I was sick for months after that. So that took me by surprise.
That's the thing too, that I always tell people, that moment. And we actually talked about this last week somewhere else about how there's so many people who watch the shows and stuff who think it's cool, but they don't realize it's real.
Yeah, it is definitely real, and you do have to be careful. That was actually my first experience like that on a team, on a paranormal investigation team, and it was a very intense experience.
Were you able to ground yourself, or was that any sort of like, now you know better, you know how to ground yourself better? Was there any sort of anything to do with that at all?
Well, what it was there was a team of 5 psychics that were there at the investigation. We opened up a portal to help release the victims. I can't really get into details because we don't have that kind of time, but to help release the victims. And then we went around the asylum, and we were inviting people to go through it. And the murderer didn't want to go through it, and she just got in my face. So it was lesson learned. Yeah,
absolutely. Why don't we go ahead and do this? Rez, I'm going to ask you the question when we get back from break, but I do want to go ahead, take our first break. When we get back, we're going to be talking more with Rez. We're going to be talking more with Kristina. We have a lot to get through. Keep putting your questions in the comments. We have stuff we want to talk about as well. You're listening to GhostBox Radio on AM 950.
Need a stone to change your luck or break a curse? Try larvikite, known for its hex-breaking powers. Need an herb to repel negative spirits? Try rue, used to repel demons and jinn. Want to create a decoy so black magic can't touch you? Make a witch bottle. For more magical advice, visit Magus Books in Minneapolis. We've got the tools and the expert advice you need to succeed against the dark arts. Find us at 1848 Central Avenue Northeast in Minneapolis or at magusbooks.com.
Reach your highest level of consciousness and well-being with MetamorphosisConnections.com. MetamorphosisConnections.com is an online directory of the best holistic and metaphysical practitioners to help you make your most informed choices. You can search MetamorphosisConnections.com for classes, events, wellness and life coaches, plus metaphysical products and shops. You can also search for a wide array of healers from all modalities, including EFT, sound healing, energy healing, light therapy, ancestral healing, shamanic healing, reflexology, past life regressions, hypnotherapy, yoga, and more. And if you're not sure where to start, the search feature on metamorphosisconnections.com is tailored to help both those who know what they are looking for and those who are just starting. Come explore the possibilities for your higher self by visiting metamorphosisconnections.com. Their experienced practitioners can guide both beginners and those that are already on their spiritual journey. That's metamorphosisconnection.com, your link to direct you on your spiritual transformation.
The Tilted Tiki, located in downtown Stillwater, helps you get your tropical tiki vibe on with a large selection of fantastic tasting tiki cocktails served in unique and fun glasses, a menu of delicious food ranging from small bites, craft tacos, sandwiches, and more. Plus, don't forget they have live music Wednesday through Saturday nights. Located in downtown Stillwater, the Tilted Tiki is your tropical relaxation restaurant in Minnesota. Visit thetiltedtiki.com. Greg Bakun here. I've told you about the out-of-the-world roast beef sandwiches at Maverick's Real Roast Beef, but I haven't told you about their Philly steak sandwiches, turkey bacon avocado sandwich, BLT, crispy chicken, fish sandwiches, brisket, or pulled pork. Okay, you get the idea. They make a lot of delicious food to the same standard as their famous roast beef sandwiches, and now I'm starving. I'm going to go to Maverick's Real Roast Beef off Lexington and Roseville, and you need to go too. Check out their menu at mavericksbeef.com. Have you ever met someone who not only can help you on a deep spiritual level, but also potentially change your life? Refined Divine is an extremely gifted psychic medium who travels the nation and lives right here in the Midwest. And she offers mediumship, mentorship, house and business parties, energy healing, palm readings, and so much more. Refined Divine has helped thousands, and she can help you.
Hi, this is Psychic Medium Deb. I cannot wait to hear from you. You can go to refineddivinepsychic.com.
And welcome back to GhostBox Radio on AM 950. My name is Greg Bakun. Thank you very much for joining me on this Tuesday after our three-day Memorial Day weekend. Really appreciate you joining us tonight. Some stuff came up into the comments. One I have to ask about. I don't know what this is, but I find this interesting, but I'm going to put this out here. Dead End Collective says, problem is, Greg, that many of your shows are completely faked, which I understand as a means to an end. I don't know what you're talking about, to be perfectly honest. Kristina, are you too fake? I mean, are you too...
No. I'm as real as they come, buddy.
Yeah.
I know a lot of the stuff you see on TV, there's a lot of faking stuff going on, or a lot of clickbait on YouTube. That's not where we're from and where we're at. You know, if we were one of the ones that were out there doing clickbaits, we'd have a million subscribers and we'd all be living rich off of YouTube. That's not the case. I still get up and go to work every day, do a day job.
And we're going to talk about the paranormal, the state of the paranormal community, probably more in the third segment. And perhaps the Dead End Collective is saying that many shows in general are faked. I don't know, maybe they didn't mean me per se or us or whatever, but I thought that was very interesting. You know, one thing that I saw that you put into the comments, why don't you tell us, Rez, where people can go to look at videos and stuff? Because it's in the comments, but why don't you tell us for the people listening on the radio?
Wisconsin, spelled out just like the state, CAPS, C-A-P-S, right on YouTube, or you can go to wisconsincaps.com. There's links to everything that we do. And we also have a show on Paraflix. Oh, man. Barnaby's going to shoot me for this one. On the Trail of Undiscovered Beasts. It's on Paraflix.
Okay.
That's one all cryptid show that we do.
And then
I'm sorry. I put us in the comments as Red Road Paranormal YouTube channel.
That too.
Yeah.
That's for the talk show. And I thought you were talking more along the lines of investigations and stuff like that.
Everything is fine. Nope. Everything is good. Everything is good. So Red Road Paranormal is the show that you two do.
Yep.
Yes.
A lot of stuff.
We just had you on recently.
Yep.
Yeah, you did. I remember. I mean, obviously, I remember it. I didn't.
I would hope you remember that short ago.
Someone called my show Spirit Box Radio. I don't know if you.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
It's GhostBox Radio.
That was fake. That's fake. That's the fake show. The
there
Spirit
you go.
Box Radio is where all the fake stuff happens. GhostBox Radio is where, honestly, if I'm fake, would I want to look like this if I'm faking it? Honestly. So,
Same, bro.
Yeah.
Same.
Why don't we talk a little bit about Red Road Paranormal? Let's talk about what the show is, so and get some folks who may not have experienced it before to go and check it out. Rez, what's the show? I mean, I know what the show is, but what is it?
It's basically us speaking about a lot of the paranormal, supernatural, the cryptids, basically all the paranormal, supernatural, cryptid stuff of the Native American culture, the legends, the lores, some of the teachings. We're trying to put light on that Native culture and all aspects there.
That makes sense. I really should have you on at some point, Rez, because there is something that is really missing from my show that we've not really talked about, and that is, that Native spirit, talking about that energy. And, one of the reasons why I personally haven't spoken about it, because I don't feel I'm qualified to. It's an area that I really want to, it's important for us to know, but it's also important for me to get it right. You know what I mean?
Yep, totally. And yeah, anytime you want me on, my friend, I got you.
Because there's I know how's that saying go? Basically, I know very little about any of that. So I know, I want to learn, and I want to be able to get it right. So yeah, it's really good. Now I want to get back to that question prior to the break, because Kristina answered, and Bruce had asked the question, what experience, revelation were they involved with that surprised themselves? And Rez, do you have one?
I do. Actually, I was helping out with a cold case down in the Chicagoland area. Mm-hmm. It was a 50-year-old cold case. Someone had called and asked for my help, and went down. We did our thing for the day, and I had forgotten my recorder on my phone was on. I never shut it off, so I threw all my stuff in the car and get back to where I was staying. And it was a couple hours later. I went outside to have a cigarette, and I'm sitting in the car smoking a cigarette, and I realized my phone's on. This whole time, I'm sitting here talking to the spirit of this little girl who was part of this case. Going to see, I wish I would have got some evidence to kind of help, to solve this case, blah, 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 and just having a heart-to-heart with her. And then I realized the phone was recording still, so I stopped it and backed it up a few minutes just to see what it all had heard. And over that, I got an EVP going, let them know I'm in peace.
Wow.
And it was a little girl's voice. It was like, that was kind of a shocking moment, because here I was no longer at the location hours later, and I was still connecting with her.
That's amazing. And I think I could speak for both of you. Well, maybe not, that it never, spirit communication never ceases to amaze me. It always surprises me. It never becomes, at least for me, it's never routine. And maybe Kristina, maybe that's a little bit different for you, only because you've had such an experience. But I mean, it always seems like when I think I've heard it all, something amazing happens.
Oh, every time, every single time. I've been doing this for years. I've been doing this professionally for 23 years, and I have always had new and interesting experiences every single time. That's what I love about what we do here. There's never 2 days that are the same ever.
Yeah. No.
They're always different.
And I also find too, personally, and I don't know, maybe you all have a different approach to it. I mean, one of the things of going to like the same places over and over to investigate, they're nice and everything. But I think if people are expecting to find the same spirits there over and over, you may get a couple, but I mean, it's always an influx. It's always new spirits coming in. It really depends on the people that are coming in for the investigation as well.
Yeah.
Right.
A lot of us carry our own spirits with us.
Yeah.
From location to location that people don't think about. I'm a firm believer in the fact that, you might go to one location and get XYZ for data, or if I go in, I get B, C, and D instead. You know, you never can tell what you're going to get from a location, even if you've been there multiple times.
That's why,
true.
and that's why anybody who goes and does these, whatever they're feeling is always valid. You can't invalidate because it's not what you're getting. It's not what you heard someone else gets. It's because no one's going to get the same message. You know, and because spirits are attracted to everyone for a different reason, pretty much.
Right. And even if you get a similar message, I've never seen two people get it exactly the same way.
True.
Or in exactly the same words, even if it's a similar message.
Absolutely. Kristina, do you have and because this made me think of something, you know, when we're over at investigations and maybe somebody is new and they're getting messages and they've not really shared that before, and people don't really know that part of them exists, so to speak, but they feel inclined to share what they're feeling. Do you have any advice for them to know that it's okay to do so?
Absolutely. First of all, usually when you're in that environment, you already know it's okay to do that. I mean, you're already in an environment where that's what you're looking for. That's what the people with you are looking for. So usually it's pretty safe. It's a pretty safe bet that it's okay to share those things that are coming through. There are some teams that for some reason don't like to have psychics or mediums on their team. And I don't really understand that because the medium just gives context to the information that you're getting. And so, you know, I just really feel like if you get it, say it. And my experience has been the more ridiculous it sounds, the more real it seems to be.
And I think where I was coming from with this, because you're right. I mean, if you're going to be doing an investigation, that, you know, you're hopefully in a safe place. But I also mean like an event. You know, you're a wallflower. You're just kind of along, and all of a sudden you're starting to get messages. And you're like, well, I'm not a psychic medium. I'm not a this. I'm not a that. But yet these messages are persistent. You know, and like you said, and I totally get it. Say what you're hearing. Put it out there. Sometimes it's just hard, though, for people to I think people get that imposter syndrome. I think people are unsure how others are going to react and to know whether or not that's a safe place or not.
Well, and I think that's where you really have to learn to trust yourself. You know, I mean, there are some places where even I, after doing this for more than 20 years, in some places, if I get something, unless it's going to make a difference to somebody, like their safety or something, there are times when I hold back and don't say anything because they didn't ask.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes it freaks people out to the point where they're just like, don't even talk to me about it. I don't want to hear it. And I've had even friends and family members say, stop, I don't want to hear it. You know, so sometimes you just have to trust your gut and go with, is this a safe place for me to do this? But then I would also say, follow up with somebody that you know is safe and start learning how to figure out what's real for you and what isn't.
Now, Rez, Emily asked the question, do you ever work with the spirits from your reservation or your tribe?
I work with the ancestors of all natives. You know, I always have an open door. I try to, you know, have them walk with me, especially where there's possible native influences in the case. Mm-hmm. Them are the ones I really ask them to walk and stand with me and help me figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, all the time I work with the other side, the natives.
That's great. That's great.
Actually, so do I.
Yeah.
I do.
I mean, and what a service to those who need it. I mean, it's incredible. Now, one thing that you had mentioned, Kristina, which I found very interesting, and we all know this is true because we've all experienced it in our time doing this, of the idea of mediums on paranormal teams. And I feel like that has gotten a lot better over the past 10 years. Do you think that's gotten better, Kristina?
I do. I think that more teams are utilizing the talent of mediums and learning to trust it more and learning to really be able to look at, okay, what this person is saying correlates with the information we're getting, you know, whether it's on a spirit box, whether it's lights on a K2, whatever it is, it's coordinating, and people are seeing that more, especially the tech people, the people who are all about the hard science. And, you know, the thing there with the hard science thing is scientific process requires repetition to get the same results. Well, good luck getting that out of living people. How are you going to get it out of spirits?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. No, absolutely. Rez, what do you think? I mean, over time, and how long have you been doing all this?
I actually grew up knowing about the spirit world since a little guy.
Mm-hmm.
So, as I said in my bio, I lived in haunted houses. Professionally, I guess I'd say for about 3 years now.
Okay.
You know, when I started out, I identified more as an empath because I had always felt energies and all that. And as I've taken this journey, I've gone to the point where I'm a certified medium here, and I've actually gone through some interesting things here with when it comes to, you know, learning to open up about things. I still second guess myself all the time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I mean, and I feel like that I hear this more often than not from mediums is that, you know, just, and not really doubting, but just like, you know, hoping that this, you know, this continues, or that what I'm saying is resonating, or something along those lines, because it's hard to know sometimes. I would think when I do spirit box work and I'm getting voices coming through, I don't know if that's resonating with anybody, you know, apart from the people I'm trying to reach specifically, but I don't know their voices, so I wouldn't necessarily know. Before we head off to break, real fast, Keith had asked the question, and I'm going to ask both of you this, and Kristina, why don't you go first? What kind of psychic protection do you use before an event?
I use what I call a trailer hitch. It's putting myself inside of a bubble that is reflective on the outside. I can still see and interact with what's happening, but negative things can't get to me. Like, you know, nothing can attach to me because it can't get through the solid kind of bubble that I put up.
Absolutely. Rez, what about you?
I picture myself in a suit of armor and then surrounded by a bubble. You know, and that bubble's full of the white light, so darkness can't stand in it.
I tend to do more of that too, Rez, and it's amazing for people who don't do it. You should. I mean, whichever, Kristina's, yours, or whatever resonates for them. Mm-hmm. They need to do something, right? Yep. I mean, there has to be something that is done. Why don't we go ahead and do this? Let's take our next break. When we come back, I want to talk about the state of the paranormal community. I want to talk about we've been through a lot. What are you all thinking is going on here? And we want that in your comments as well. You're listening to GhostBox Radio on AM 950. Are you one of thousands of individuals who know you have psychic abilities but don't know how to tap into your higher self? Refined Divine is an extremely gifted psychic medium who offers classes that can help you reach your goals. Refined Divine holds classes Monday and Thursday at her 2 locations and via Zoom. Classes consist of manifestation, learning psychic abilities, shadow work, and healing trauma. Refined Divine has helped thousands, and she can help you.
This is Psychic Medium Deb. You can go to refinedivinepsychic.com.
Greg Bakun here. Like you, I love good, fresh, delicious food. So I want to tell you about this treasure in Roseville called Maverick's Real Roast Beef. Maverick's has the best roast beef sandwiches I've ever had. Made fresh every order. Add fries or onion rings dropped in the fryer when ordered, and you have a winning combination. Maverick's Real Roast Beef has a lot more than roast beef, so check out their website, mavericksbeef.com, or check out their restaurant on Lexington in Roseville.
Did you know that spiritual awakening is not all love and light? Surprise! Inner demons, ego deaths, and tower moments are on the horizon. But while life might hand you some harsh lessons, we've got the antidote to soothe your weary soul. Why not try a dragon's blood bath? Or schedule a Reiki aura repair? With books, herbs, talismans, candles, and more, we put the Shazam in shadow work. Visit Magus Books at 1848 Central Avenue Northeast in Minneapolis or magusbooks.com.
The Tilted Tiki, located in downtown Stillwater, helps you get your tropical tiki vibe on with a large selection of fantastic tasting tiki cocktails served in unique and fun glasses, a menu of delicious food ranging from small bites, craft tacos, sandwiches, and more, Plus, don't forget they have live music Wednesday through Saturday nights. Located in downtown Stillwater, the Tilted Tiki is your tropical relaxation restaurant in Minnesota. Visit thetiltedtiki.com.
Reach your highest level of consciousness and well-being with metamorphosisconnections.com. Metamorphosisconnections.com is an online directory of the best holistic and metaphysical practitioners to help you make your most informed choices. You can search metamorphosisconnections.com for classes, events, wellness and life coaches, plus metaphysical products and shops. You can also search for a wide array of healers from all modalities, including EFT, sound healing, energy healing, light therapy, ancestral healing, shamanic healing, reflexology, past life regressions, hypnotherapy, yoga, and more. And if you're not sure where to start, the search feature on metamorphosisconnections.com is tailored to help both those who know what they are looking for and those who are just starting. Come explore the possibilities for your higher self by visiting metamorphosisconnections.com. Their experienced practitioners can guide both beginners and those that are already on their spiritual journey. That's metamorphosisconnection.com, your link to direct you on your spiritual transformation.
And join me tomorrow on GhostBox Radio with Greg Bakun. We are going to see the return of author Cheryl Lynn Carter. She's been on a number of times, and I absolutely love her having her on. We're going to be talking about her newest book tomorrow, Skinwalker Ranch Encounters. This is a book of people who've been to Skinwalker Ranch and what they encountered. Imagine that. It's a great book. It's going to be a great conversation. We're going to be doing that tomorrow, so please make sure to check that out. Welcome back to GhostBox Radio, and thank you all for joining us on this Tuesday evening. I have with me spiritual advisor Kristina Bloom, and I have with me a man that literally goes by 1,000 names. We have Rez with us, part of his team, Cryptids, Anomalies, Paranormal Society, and it's really great to have both of you with me tonight. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Here's the thing. And I'm laughing because I'm seeing some comments in here, and I'm not really sure what there's somebody who I'm really not sure what they're getting at in it. So I apologize for not answering your questions any longer. But my question to both of you, we talked about this prior a little bit. And the question is here, what do you think the current state of the paranormal field is? And Rez, you had a very lively answer when we talked off air about it. But what do you think? As we're all three of us, we're kind of in the throes of it. What do you think, Rez?
How do I want to put this nicely? Yeah, it's a crap show.
Yeah, that works. That works. A little bit better than the last time. Yeah.
Yep. You know, if we, as all of us in the community, would learn to work together, kind of more like the UFO community does, we'd make huge advancements. But the way it's going now, where everyone's about, this is my evidence, this is mine, this is mine, this is mine, no one's willing to work together. We need to find some kind of unity and platform that we can all work together in a safe space. You know, that's the biggest thing.
Kristina, what do you think?
I feel like the paranormal community is going through growing pains.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what it is. It's so interesting to me that, you know, this all started way back when with what was the first show, like Ghost Hunters or something? I think so, was that the first show?
Of this breakout. Yeah.
Right. Of this current breakout. And so there's so much of what's going on in the paranormal community that is just, it's people fighting for the limelight. And it's like, you know, pay attention to me. And it's all very much just growing pains as far as the community goes. You know, we kind of, everything has to go through its process. And I feel like this is in the process of maybe middle school, possibly high school, you know, where everybody's just competing for the limelight. And it's very much, you know, we just have to get through this growing pain to really be taken seriously as research or as even communication with the dead, or, you know, any of that. All of it has to be taken seriously, but we're not going to get there as long as we have people out there in the limelight fighting for space. It's just, you know, there's room for everybody. Just be kind. It's not that hard.
No, and one of the things that frustrates me is that this is going to be a very delicate thing to say, because we all kind of do the events, that is, and it's important, and there's nothing wrong with, like, Kristina, you making a living off of what you do. That
Right.
there is nothing wrong with that. I do feel, though, when we're talking about the paranormal side of things, I feel like we've moved away from, this is generalization, we moved away from research of paranormal, and we worry more about, can I investigate with a paracelebrity? Can I go and see them? Which is fine. That's a great subset in my mind. This is only my opinion. It's a great subset to the paranormal, but it feels to me, and maybe it's just the people I see in my timeline, it seems to be that's the only thing now. I want to be friends with so-and-so who's on this show, and I'm so happy that I have my picture taken with them and whatever else. And people go back to the same locations to investigate. But why, no, I feel like I'm hearing less and less about people doing like private investigations, or they're doing something to move the field forward. And someone I want to call out, Brandon Elvis and Mustafa, who are doing haunted discoveries. I feel like they are moving the meter forward as far as a television medium of doing paranormal, because they see that. Yet coincidentally, you don't see them really at a lot of events. They're always working on their stuff and their research. What I just said, do you, either of you, agree in any way, or do you think I'm way off base?
No, I think you got it.
Well, yeah, but I generally don't do paranormal events. I mostly do spiritual events. I do like psychic fairs, wellness fairs. Those are the things that I do more often than paranormal. And I am part of a paranormal group. I'm part of the Adirondack Park Paranormal Society.
So I think that's a fair question then to ask you.
Yeah, because what that group does is that they do things that help people. Like we investigate places, we investigate private residences, we investigate local places, not to get on the map, not to do any of that. I mean, it's all based in what are our ethics, what is it that we want to really perform and bring forward. And so we kind of grilled each other to make sure we were on the same page before I joined that group, because I don't want to be part of a group that is just out there going to every Waverly Hills or penitentiary or whatever it is that 5,000 people have already investigated. I don't care.
Yeah,
that's not helping anybody. I'm in it to help people, and whether that's my private readings, whether that's the psychic fairs that I go to, whatever it is, that's why I'm in this. I'm in this to help people. Do I get paid for it? Not for the investigations.
Right.
For the private readings, for the gallery readings, yes, I get paid for those. That's my job.
Absolutely. And I had somebody last week. He said to me, he put in the comments, because I did a show about locations and stuff last week, and he said to me, well, what's the difference? Because I was talking about, if you bring in a paranormal team to investigate and they want to charge you money that's not expenses of any kind, you got to stay away from them. And he challenged me, and he was like, well, why is it okay then for psychic mediums to charge? And that's a whole different ballgame. That's not the same thing. And I equate that in my mind to, if you're hiring a carpenter to do something, you're hiring a plumber to do something, you're hiring a psychic medium, you're hiring a medium to do something specific. Whereas we're doing investigations, we're doing research, and we're going there for the privilege of doing research.
Yeah, very much so. You're going there to help. We don't charge on any of our cases that we go out on. I've sat there and watched clients try to give us money, and we turn it down left and right.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
The most we might do is ask you to sign a piece of paper that if we find anything that we can advertise it on our YouTube channel or talk about it on our websites or stuff like that. But other than that, there is no monetary for going out and doing investigations.
Same with my group.
Yep. Me too. Me too. And we also had one recently where somebody, after we were able to help out, they had some cash in hand for us, and we were just like, no, and they just didn't understand. And they're actually they actually do their own paranormal stuff, and They didn't understand. It's like, it truly, I mean, and I don't want to get weird and gushy and whatever, but it is truly the privilege of being able to go into somebody else's location and hopefully help them and learn something while you're doing it. That's the way I see it.
Yep.
I didn't realize I needed my soapbox tonight, but I'm glad I brought it all the same. But it's
Right.
it's important to us, and I feel like that's something that kind of gets, and maybe I'm wrong. I feel like it's something that's kind of getting missed over time. Rez, I mean, you've been probably doing a lot more out in your area of doing different types of events and stuff. Do you see it that way, or do you think it's not as bad as the picture I'm painting?
No, I agree with you. Totally, 100%.
And it's frustrating but then again, who am I to tell someone what they should do or that they're doing something wrong or anything? Because that makes me no different than anybody else, to be honest.
Yeah, we can't pass judgment on what people do. We have our own opinions on it, but you know what opinions are.
Now, Keith wanted to take us back a little bit away from this conversation. I think that's a good thing because we have about 5 minutes left. And Keith asked the question, and I think it's a good one to bring up. If or when you got an attachment from some spirit work, how did you know? Rez, what about you?
You can feel it. You feel the difference. You're not yourself. Even my animals here, I have pit bulls and cats, and they can tell the difference. They can sense that you're not yourself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And Kristina, is that, I mean, to me, that's the same thing. Is that the same for you?
I would say it's the same thing. And also sometimes the person who has an attachment doesn't realize it. Like they're like the attachment itself prevents them from realizing it. But other people can see it. Other people can tell that you're behaving differently. Other people can tell that you don't look quite right. Or, you know what I mean? It's like you look in someone's eyes and you can go, that's not really my friend in there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like other people can see it if you can't.
Do you think because, the one thing that Rez just said, he's like, you can feel it. And I've certainly been on that side of it. And that seems to be the more recent years opposed to at the beginning, where it's more like what you're saying, Kristina, where it's like, people would, they may see me being different. But it's certainly for me, it's like the more that you kind of move on in years and experience, you do get that moment of like, all right, here we go. Yeah. Crap.
There's something going on here. This doesn't feel right.
Exactly.
Yeah. The longer you're in it, the easier it is for you to catch that, I think.
It is.
Catch it earlier. Yeah.
And try to get the help you need. Now, Kristina, being having done this for so long and being very good at what you do, are you able to take care of that on your own, or is it always somebody else that's helping you kind of remove them?
I normally can take care of it myself, but if I have doubts, I know I know the people that I trust that I would go to say, would you check me out? Because I think I missed something. And I think that that's only a fair thing to do, no matter how long you've been doing this. Yeah. Get someone else. When I need a reading, I don't read myself.
Right.
Because I need someone else's outside perspective sometimes. And I think it's the same with attachments. And I'm also going to say attachments don't happen every time you do an investigation either.
No.
So, I think there's such a big thing about attachments. And I'm saying be cautious, be careful, but don't invite it by thinking you're going to get one.
Exactly. And I think that's where it's so important to when you go into an investigation, either have Kristina's bubble, the reflective bubble, or Rez's suit of armor.
Yeah.
And really take care of yourself in those situations, and also being a champion of that for other people as well, and helping them. Like, I'm sure, Rez, you would never have that issue with your team because they all know what to do, right? I mean, that's just rule number one, probably.
Yeah. The team catches it normally 9 times out of 10. And if for some reason my team didn't catch it, my partner right here, my bestie, she'd catch it right off the bat.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Likewise.
You're pointing at see the way I saw it, you're pointing at me, Rez. I'm like, I don't really know that well, but that's awesome that you're already thinking he has a bestie. Oh,
down there.
You don't have to rub salt into it. We know that. All right.
A few more conventions. We hang out. Have a few steaks. Trust me, you'll be on the best friends sheet.
I did a tomahawk on the grill on Memorial Day. That was pretty special.
Nice.
Or no, Sunday I did that. Now, before we head out, because we have about a minute or so left here, once again, Kristina, what's the best way for people to get a hold of you, see what you're doing, and maybe engage in and getting some help from you?
My website, KristinaBloom.com. It's Kristina with a K, Bloom with 2 O's. It's real simple. KristinaBloom.com. I have a form where you can request an appointment. My calendar is on there. Everything you need is right there.
And then Rez, for people who want to get help from your team, they can go to wisconsincaps.com, correct?
Yep. That's if they want to get anything from the team. If they want to get a hold of me directly about anything, best bet is catch me either on Facebook, Bobbie Rezneck Calkins, or Rezneck Inc. at gmail.com.
That's fantastic. And then finally, the show that you both do together, once again, and I'm blanking on that name this time.
Red Road Paranormal.
Red Road Paranormal. Wanted to call it Red Barn Paranormal. So none of us are going to get our own other show's name right, are we? And that's just,
it happens.
That's just the way it has to go sometimes, isn't it?
That's the new inside joke between us, my friend.
Right, exactly. I hope you both had a good time tonight. It was really fun to have you on.
Yeah.
Thank you. We had a blast.
Thank you very much. Tomorrow we're going to be back with Sherilyn Carter. We're going to be talking about encounters over at the Skinwalker Ranch. Everyone have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow.